Hi everyone, Chris here, and we're talking about ways to incorporate storytelling in your instructional design. And today, I wanted to talk about the importance of ensuring your story is relatable. So there's different ways that you can do this. The first is the conflict itself, the challenge that you're putting in front of your learners. It's important that this is a realistic scenario. If you go a little crazy and make something that's unrealistic that your learner doesn't believe that they would ever face in their work, they're just going to disengage. It'll stop being a useful piece of relatable training and start to sound silly. So making sure that your challenge you're putting in front of your learners is realistic. Not just that it's realistic, but that they see it as realistic. The second is ensuring that the characters in the story are relatable. And if you're having the learner observe someone else going through the story, it becomes very important that that person represents your learners. If this is just making sure they're relatable, sometimes it has to do with race and gender. Other times it has to do with occupation clarity. Um, but making sure that that your learner resonates with that character. And a fantastic way of sort of stepping around this is to have it be a first person video where the learner is them. So they're in the story. That's a nice way of getting around that relatability piece with the main character. If you make the learner the actual main character in the story, then you can have that. Another one is to, and it spins off that same one, is to go light on the imagery with the actual main character. The other characters in the story can be representative of the organization, but if you keep your reader as the main character, as the literal hero in the story, then you can end up with them relating to themselves because they're relating to themselves. Um, the third element on relatability is the setting. If you can put elements of the setting so it's very realistic, very close to what they're going to have in their actual working environment, this is a great time if you have the ability to go down and get photography of the actual working environment. Just making that connection. It's not always possible, but I'm getting this close. I mean, we all see stories and slides and pieces where it's just generic um, stock photography from like high rises in New York City, and that's not always relatable. So trying to get something that actually connects to your learners on that plane as well. And then the final area for relatability is language. And there are times when subtitles work, but if you have the opportunity to have different language tracks or to have entirely different materials, uh, it can really go a long way, especially if you're working in a multi-language environment, as so many of us are now. Um, here I am in, Portland, Maine, and just recently in the newspaper, they were sharing that there are 30 languages spoken actively in the high school. Um, so diversity is everywhere. So really watch the languages that you are using in storytelling and all of those different elements. So that's what I have today for ways that you can make any stories that you're developing for instruction that much more relatable. And I will see you again tomorrow.